Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Today I am still sick. This has lasted way longer than I anticipated, and I go to LA in a week, so I am very, very much hoping it goes away. So I am drinking my 8th cup of tea from my my quokka mug. Today, I wanted to do something that I haven't done for a while, and this was requested by one of my patrons, Queer Corey. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the suggestion. And that is a conservative self-owns video, because these are some of my favorite to make. They are so funny, and they're a perfect sick video because they make me laugh, and laughter is the best medicine, you know? That's what they always say. Before we get into it, I would like to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Aura, and I will tell you a little bit more about them shortly. But quickly first, I will say thank you to today's patron of the day, Jordan. Thank you so much for all of your support. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you. I hope that you do enjoy this video, and if anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat. If you want to hear more about it, then stick around till the end, and I will let you know a few more details. Anyway, let's get into the video. All of these tweets and posts, etc. have been taken from the Twitter account Conservative Self-Owns. They are a fantastic account. Always brings me joy. So if you want to see these on your Twitter timeline, just go follow them. The first one is someone tweeted this picture that says, "They are not courageous transgender athletes. They are just boys beating on girls," with the caption, "Who in their right mind thinks this is courageous? It's more like, I can't win competing against my own biological gender, so let's beat the weaker sex." But the funny thing about this is that the person winning is trans, but it's a trans guy who didn't want to compete with women. He wanted to be in the men's league, but was put in with the women because of their biological sex. So this is a man beating a woman when they should be in the men's league. You are so right. So thank you for being such a fierce ally and for agreeing. Yeah, this is not the point that you were trying to prove at all, but thank you for proving our point. This is the American flag with a blue stripe. You know how people made the Blue Lives Matter flag, which is fucking so wild. Anyway, it says, "If you are anti-police, hashtag Blue Lives Matter. I'm blue family, unfriend me." I don't understand the wording of this at all. It genuinely confuses my brain, but I get the message they're trying to say. Anyway, someone commented, "Blue lives matter. All jobs matter. What about the teachers, the mail carriers, garbage collectors?" And they said, "Right, but not all jobs are under attack right now." So, exactly. So you get the point then. You understand what we're trying to say. And you said it yourself. Do these people hear themselves? Do they see the words that they're typing before they hit send or post or whatever? Are they aware of what they're saying? Because surely at some point it has to click in your head. You clearly understand what we're saying. You just choose to not. You literally just admitted that you don't think Black Lives Matter. So, yikes, my guy. Yikes. Oh my god. They genuinely, I swear, do they know what they're saying? Are they aware? Because they say the darndest of things. Like this person tweeted, "Are there any good essays, etc., from smart left-wing thinkers about what distinguishes fascism from normal right-wing politics? The academic literature of fascism often describes it in abstract terms that could feasibly be applied to a large swathe of mainstream conservatism." Dude. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. You can't be my politics seem to align really closely with fascism. How do I tell people that I'm not a fascist? Maybe if your political views align with fascism, you are a fascist. Just maybe. Also, I like that you want this from, leftist literature, because you obviously don't think that right-wingers are, capable enough to write a description of fascism. This is a tweet from Ben Shapiro, our favorite man. Twitter was founded as primarily an engineering platform, but over time, the company culture began to change more towards doing good in the world. In other words, doing the left's bidding. Elon Musk has returned Twitter to its engineering roots, and the woke left is furious. So we're gonna go back to the highlighted part here of, the company culture began to change more towards doing good in the world. In other words, doing the left's bidding. Sir, again, do you hear yourself there? Doing good in the world is primarily a leftist value. What are your values then? You're against doing good in the world? You are just like out here openly admitting and accepting that your political views are doing harm or maintaining harm? Because that's kind of what you just said. You kind of just said that. Honestly, if I had $1 for every time a conservative was like, all the left want to do is make the world better, and that's kind of disgusting. That's kind of gross. Then I would be a very rich woman. They do it all the time. They're constantly just out here like, the left are trying to do good shit. Disgusting. That's gross. I don't like it. Dude, how are you anti-equality? How are you like anti-happiness? I do not understand, bro. I don't get it. So many of these conservatives like celebrate the fact that Twitter got more racist after Elon Musk took over. And they claim to not be racist. It's so baffling. Like, another example of this is from another one of the best people in the world, Keemstar, where someone tweeted, "I've never seen Twitter this racist and sexist before. What the fuck happened?" And he quote retweeted with, "That's because you joined Twitter in 2019 at the beginning of social justice warrior far left woke Twitter." And then someone replied with effectively what I just said and about to say again. So wait, you're saying that Twitter was less racist when it was full of leftists and social justice warriors, and now the racists are back? I'm just trying to understand what you're trying to say here. Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, you just said that leftists aren't racist and leftists are against racism, and conservatives are racist. And they're back now because they're like, oh great, Twitter is safe for us now. We can be racist, which is true. The N-word was said like 500 times more or something when Elon Musk took over, right? I can't remember the exact number, but it was said so much more because people suddenly felt like empowered and safe to be racist. And all these conservatives are like, it's exactly what the left don't want. This is a win for us. How? How is that a win for you? You're celebrating racism? It's freedom of speech. Freedom to be racist. I don't think that's a good thing, though, is it? Like, you could say what you want, again, but you have to accept consequences to that. Like, Twitter is it's privately owned, right? So, like, freedom of speech doesn't necessarily apply there because it's not like a public sort of thing. It's privately owned. So, like, you have to accept that there are consequences. If you say hate speech, you can be silenced. You can be banned. Because, like, you said it, you had the freedom to say that, but there are rules. And the rule is that you can't say it. That's not taking away your freedom of speech. It's privately owned, man. They can do whatever the fuck they want. You can say what you want. You have to accept the consequences. You say that, the consequences, you get banned from the app. Like, it's not that difficult to fucking figure out. Talking about Twitter and the internet in general, and I'm gonna do a really good, smooth segue here. Have you ever wondered about how many people have access to your information? And I'm talking like not just passwords, but also, you know, your name, your phone number, your address, your family information, all of that. Are you ever worried about people and companies like storing and selling that information? Because that is where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in handy. Anyone can find anything on the internet. You know, like all of your personal information, all of your photos, your documents, everything. It's all out there. Companies like to store that data and then sell it to data brokers, whether for advertising purposes or whatever else. They make a profit off of your information. And a lot of that time, you are consenting to that by, you know, accepting all the little cookies and stuff. No one ever reads the fine print. I certainly don't ever read the fine print. And that's kind of a terrifying thought of the fact that so many people can be accessing your information just whenever and wherever. And that is why I'm excited to talk to you about Aura. Aura will identify data brokers that are exposing your information and automatically will submit to opt out for you, which is very handy. It's nice to have something that's like automated that will immediately be like, I promise you, you do not want to do that. And they take you out of it. Fantastic. Peace of mind. They will even opt you out of like junk mail and telemarketing scams. So that is super handy. I'm someone who gets so many scam calls and I've never understood why, because Kat never gets any. She never gets any scam calls. I sometimes get like 4 a day. I just don't answer my phone anymore. I will Google the phone number. But like the amount of times I Google a number and it's like scam, scam, scam. One time I almost sent someone money because they like pretended to be the police and I freaked the fuck out. So it's really nice to have something that'll like take your phone number off of the places that might do that, because it's not fun. It's so scary. I hate it. And on top of all of that, it also works as a VPN, which is great. VPNs help to protect all of your passwords and your photos and everything else. It just protects all of your information and helps keep you safe online. And it's all wrapped up in one neat little package, which is fantastic and so helpful and just gives you so much peace of mind when you are browsing on the internet. You can use my link aura.com/kiwi to try for 2 weeks for free to see how many data brokers are exposing your information and try it out. It is also linked in the description. I promise you it is definitely something worth looking into. It is definitely something worth getting because, you know, the internet's a scary place and you don't really think about it until you're forced to think about it. And it's nice to not have to be in a situation where you're forced to think about it, you know? So yeah, thank you so much, Aura, for sponsoring today's video. And let's get back into it. So this person tweeted, "Happy 2023, y'all. Trust God, spend time with family, don't give up your rights, shoot guns, and watch college football." And then a few days later, the Daily Dot tweeted, "Blaze editor whose New Year's goals were to shoot guns and watch college football shoots self in foot during college football championship," which is the funniest fucking karma ever. That's so funny. I mean, she did it. She did what she set out to do. She watched football and she shot guns, and literally within 10 days of saying that, she fucking shot herself in the foot. I'm just realizing now that I didn't ask a very important question here, which is, why did she have a gun at a college football game? And why was it loaded? And how did she shoot her foot? And like, unless she was like watching it at home, in which case, why did she have a loaded gun and how did she shoot her foot? I don't understand how she managed to shoot her foot while watching a college football game. That seems like, that seems almost impressive. So many questions. So, you know, I hope it was worth it. I hope you had your fun, because now you have to pay all of those really fun, hefty medical bills that you love so much because you hate socialism so much. You don't want to provide affordable, free healthcare to people. So now you're stuck with a fun medical bill. I hope you enjoy it. America. Guns, football, and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of medical debt. So, you know, you're really living the American dream in 2023. Anyone with half a brain would support Trump over Biden. It's not even close. It's a good thing I have a whole brain then, isn't it? I'm sorry that you only have half a brain. I'm sorry that all Trump supporters only have half a brain. I didn't really know it was possible to live with only half a brain. But, you know, you're doing pretty well considering. I guess the other half is where common sense and like kindness and compassion comes in. Why is Instagram promoting sexual videos with underage children? And it's like 3 like young girls wearing, you know, shorts and I'm assuming dancing. And there are a few things to say here. Number 1, Instagram recommends to you things that you usually like things that you want to see. It works on an algorithm basis. So like, this is my Instagram recommendations. It's right now just all tattoos and vegan recipes and then like a few K-pop idols thrown in here and there because that's all the content I consume on Instagram. It's mainly based off of things that you save now rather than things that you like, I'm pretty sure. And the only things I save are tattoos and vegan recipes. So that is why my For You looks like that. So that means that you are actively like saving a lot of videos of young girls doing dances, like that's the content that you are like saving. Yikes for outing yourself there, my guy. And also on top of that, there is nothing sexual about children, period. There's just nothing sexual about children. And there's nothing sexual about children wearing shorts or dancing or anything else. You should never view children as something sexual, ever. These children aren't doing it with the intention of sexualizing themselves. They're not doing it with the intention of doing anything other than they're wearing clothes and they're dancing on the internet. Like, that's all they're doing. It is entirely on you for sexualizing that. If you are looking at a child and you are thinking they are doing something sexual, that is entirely a you problem, and you should stay away from children, I think. I have never once seen a child and thought that they were doing something that was sexual. That's not something that ever crosses my mind, because I know that that's not what they're doing, and I don't view children like that. Kids can wear whatever the fuck they want. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Nothing they do will ever make me view them in a sexual way. Nothing they do will ever make me think they are doing anything for any sexual reason. And if they are, it's because they have been groomed into doing that. And I am not going to view them like that. And no one else should either. If they are doing something with the intention of people sexualizing them, it's because they've been told that that's what they should do and that that's what that is, but they don't entirely understand what that is. And regardless, people shouldn't be looking at them like that, whether they're doing it with that intention or not. I would never view a child like that. You should never view a child like that. If you do, go straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just go to jail immediately. When you are looking for the basic differences between the left and the right, look to the young. They're 17-year-old, and it's Greta Thunberg speaking into a megaphone at a climate march, and our 17-year-old, and it is Kyle Rittenhouse holding a big gun. What point were you trying to prove with this one? That the left are empowering young people to speak up, use their voice, and try to make positive change in the world, and the 17-year-olds on the right like to kill people? One is promoting life and a better life and advocating for life and all living things, and one is ending life. You're right. Maybe, yeah, look to the young, and you will definitely clearly see a strong winner, which is the left. I don't quite understand how you are even attempting to compare these two things and thinking that the right is the correct option. Like, blows my mind. Speaking of Greta Thunberg, we have a brilliant tweet about global warming. This is near Los Angeles. Where is your global warming now, liberals? And it's snowing, because I'm pretty sure it's not meant to snow in Los Angeles or anywhere near Los Angeles. And people not understanding global warming is one of the funniest things in the world, because, like, that's why we call it climate change now, I guess, because people didn't quite understand that, like, the globe warming could cause cold weather, so we changed it and call it climate change. But people still, like to be like, global warming. If you just pay attention for 3 seconds and listen to us when we just talk about extreme weather changes, and it has nothing to do with the temperature of the actual weather and which way it's going, just like pay attention for 3 seconds, listen to someone other than yourself for 5 seconds, just use Google, use the internet, read a single resource that someone tweets, and you'll like figure it out. Oh my God. Figure it out relatively quickly. It's not a super difficult thing to do. Just like read stuff, Google things. It is free. Please take that advice on board, I hope. This is a tweet from the fantastic Andrew Tate. Reading books is for losers who are afraid to learn from life, so they try and learn from the life others have lived. But you never really learn unless you lived it. You must feel it to believe it. Books are a total waste of time. Education for cowards. And then it shows a book called Warrior Mindset, written by Andrew Tate. And it is $127. $127 for a book? Who in their right mind is paying for $127 for a book? Who in their right mind is buying an Andrew Tate book, firstly? Like that already, no one in their right mind is buying an Andrew Tate book. $127 for a book is like absolutely beyond ridiculous. There's not a single book that I could justify spending $127 on. I like will barely pay that for like a signed album. I don't even pay that for like a signed album. You want me to pay that for just a book? Like a misogynistic book? Bro, dude, what? Does it come with $100 inside it? That's the only way I could justify spending $127 on a book, is if it comes with $100 cash. And then maybe $27 is still too expensive for an Andrew Tate book, but any amount of money is too expensive for an Andrew Tate book. You have to pay me to take an Andrew Tate book, I think. I do love how many of these like alpha males do this, right? They're constantly like, don't listen to another man. You be in charge. You take the power. Don't watch videos of men talking. Don't listen to podcasts or read their books. That's some beta shit. You can't fucking do that. Do your own thing. But like the way they make their money is by telling other men what to do, which is the alpha male thing to do, right? But it's so funny that then all of the men that follow them are like, they like flock to them. They fall at their feet. They worship them. And they're like, they're helping me be an alpha male. I'm like, well, clearly not, because you're just like doing whatever they say. You are submitting to this man. That's pretty beta of you, right? Is it not, being like a fanboy of an alpha male and doing everything they say and living your life exactly by their code? Is that not some like beta male bullshit? Is that... It feels like you're doing it wrong. If you want to be a true alpha male, you have to make your own decisions and not just do everything a man tells you to do. Doesn't seem to be working for you. You can spend $127 on as many books as you like. If you're reading the books, as Andrew Tate said, you're failing. So, if you took one shot, make your peace, ask for forgiveness. All vaccinated people will die within 2 years. Nobel Prize winner Luc Montagnier has confirmed that there is no chance of survival for people who have received any form of the vaccine in shocking news interview. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to end the video here because I was due to die last month. So that's my bad. I didn't get the memo. I should be dead. So I guess I have to end the video here just in case, you know. I hope that you enjoyed this video. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. And a huge, huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Toulouse, Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Robbie, Ikazel, Kai, Jessica, Eldo, Ida, Queer Corey, Mick McKenna, Anna, Raven, Danielle, Elias, Evie, Rin, Nyx of the Eternal Night, and JD Creeper. I alone appreciate you all so, so much. Thank you so much for joining. If you'd like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat. Click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things like bonus mini podcasts, outtakes, vlogs, and live stream. I appreciate it so, so much. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.